Hello students, this is CA Pragnesh Kanabar and welcome to the very first lecture of CA Inter Audit Fast Track course in 100% English delivery. Yes, you heard it right. This lecture is in 100% English delivery. So if you want a little bit of Hindi English mix, then there are separate lectures. You can ask my team to give you the separate demo lectures for that. Okay, now first things first, from whom are you learning? Who am I? I already told you I'm CA Pragnesh Kanabar, so obviously I'm a chartered accountant. I'm in the 10th year of my experience in this coaching experience, and I've been really fortunate enough, all right, to coach thousands and thousands of students across India, also some students in UAE, Nepal, all right, and I've been really fortunate enough that students under me have scored 70 plus consistently, and we also have students who have scored all India first multiple times in audit subject at CA Inter and CA final level. All of these feedbacks are sufficiently documented with us. You can always ask our team to share it with you. And a few feedbacks in a video form you will also find on our YouTube channel, The Audit Academy. Alright, we also have a Telegram setup, YouTube setup. All of that is named as The Audit Academy, and you can always search for that. And you are going to enjoy the content that we put up for audit subject. I have dedicated my life towards audit subject. Now, at least some 60 seconds you should know from whom you are learning. Now coming to this subject, this is a CA Inter Audit Fast Track course. I will start explaining the subject and the content in a few minutes, but please understand what is the delivery that you are going to get from my side. Okay, you have this one proper book which has all the content, question bank, every single stuff that you can think of, the whole ICI content, the question bank, and the question bank contains all types of questions, past examination questions, dated as back as like November 2004 attempt. All right, from there also I've taken questions, so don't worry about it. You are safe when it comes to the study material part. But then this is a fast track course. This will get completed in about 50 hours. Then in that case, how is it different from a regular course? Because regular course around takes 75-77 hours or so. Then what is the difference? See, let me tell you, I have given you the same content and question bank, alright, that I give it to the regular course. However, when I'm teaching this, which you will see, so it is better that you see this first lecture, alright. When I'm teaching, obviously there are certain set of notes that I'm going to write. These notes are not just summary notes, these are proper detailed summary notes, alright, which will ensure that the whole content is getting covered in the notebook that we are writing. And then obviously you can go through the content and you will realize that everything is nicely covered by Pragnesh sir in the notes. Secondly, when it comes to the question bank, I have all types of questions. Already you can just see a sample of that. For example, in the first chapter you have this correct incorrect questions which are asked for 2 marks with reasons in short at audit paper at CA Inter level. Alright, then we have descriptive questions, okay, which are asked in the range of 3 marks or 4 marks. Okay, and when you scroll you will realize that there are past examination questions. I told you dated as back as November 2004. Then you have MCQ questions, and there are 2 types of MCQs that are asked in the paper. One is case study based MCQ, where a long case study will be put up and they will ask 5 questions on that. And then there are individual independent MCQs, alright, which will be small concepts that they will question. And we have both of these type of MCQ questions also, alright, as you can see over here. What is it that I keep on adding to this material? You have to just stay in touch with us in our Telegram channel. I keep on adding some MCQs, that even when I'm traveling and stuff, I keep on making MCQs. That is the never ending process. But yes, just 3.5 months before the attempt, there is one compiled PDF which I will put up on Telegram, which will contain some extra MCQs which you can solve. Okay. In addition to that, I keep on creating question papers, answers and all of that also, which can help you in practicing. There are 30 marks unit wise test papers where I give the question papers, suggested answers with the marking scheme, so you can evaluate on your own where you are going wrong, where you are going right and stuff. In addition to that, there are always Zoom doubt solving sessions. I also share my WhatsApp number with the students who enroll with me, and we also do doubt solving on WhatsApp, one-on-one personalized doubt solving. Don't worry about it. Alright, so you have full admin support, doubt solving support, everything from our side. The only thing that you need to do is ensure that you are focused if you have enrolled, and if you have not yet enrolled, then what are you waiting for? Okay, my explanation, do not worry, you are going to like it. I'm confident on that. Okay, so this is just a little bit of orientation that how we are going to go ahead with the subject. But now let us not waste time. This is a fast track course covering all the concepts of the module and the question bank. Don't worry about it, but in a little bit of smart manner. And let us start with this course. The target is going to be completion in 50 hours. That is fine. But you are going to score 70 plus marks minimum. Promise? Promise? Alright. I will support you. You will support me. Both of us are going to support each other. And we will ensure that you score really, really, really good marks. Alright. Okay. Now students, coming to this subject, please ensure that you have a notebook. Okay. Because we are going to do some writing. But just to give you a little bit of introduction of this subject. Forget about this subject for 2 minutes. Just let us talk about chartered accountancy. So, once you become a chartered accountant, either you go for a job or you will start your own practice. Now, practicing chartered accountants, you have seen proprietors, partnership firm, yes, all practicing chartered accountants. Now, when we talk about practicing chartered accountants, okay, practicing chartered accountants provide which services? They provide the services of ATM. Practicing chartered accountants provide services of ATM? Arey, hear me out completely. A for assurance services, T for taxation services, and M for management consultancy services. So, taxation word, the moment you wrote, we understood that practicing chartered accountants, they provide tax planning services and all taxation services. Sir, consultancy word also we understand, finance consultancy, cost consultancy, alright, business consultancy. So, we do provide consultancy services also. Sir, what is this word assurance? If you have heard in your practical life, then fine. For the students who have not heard, for them I am teaching this because I will not assume that you know something. Alright, this is not just a repeaters course or something. This is a proper fast track course where from 0 to 100 I am going to take you everywhere and we are going to discuss all the concepts. Alright. So assurance services. What is an assurance service? Okay. Now, boss, Reliance Industries Limited, the moment it comes out with its balance sheet and profit and loss account and stuff, do you really think that people are going to trust that if it is signed by Mukesh Ambani himself? No. Tell me, if you sign your mark sheet, do you really think that people are going to trust? No. But when it is stamped and signed by the ICAI, people are going to trust that yes, this person has cleared chartered accountancy. Similarly, who is the specialist of accountants? Chartered accountants. And that is the reason when the balance sheet and profit and loss account and the cash flow statement of Reliance Industries Limited, when it is stamped, signed by a practicing chartered accountant who says that he has examined it, alright, and he gives his opinion that these financial statements are proper, then people start believing him. People start believing the financial statements because it has been signed by a specialist of balance sheet, P&L and stuff. And that is exactly what I mean by assurance services. The same job that an examiner does. Let me tell you, the preparation of financial statements and books of accounts and stuff will be done by the CFO and the accounts team of Reliance Industries Limited. But the examination part will be done by a practicing chartered accountant. He will examine and express an opinion. People will start trusting him. Trust is nothing but assurance. And that is nothing but what? Assurance services given by practicing chartered accountants. So, what we do is, we examine the data given by the client. Alright. Then, we express an opinion on correctness of such data. We express an opinion on correctness of such data. Our opinion is relied upon. People trust us. Is relied upon by various stakeholders of the client. And this service is nothing but assurance services. Now, I am very thankful and I am obliged to Honorable Parliament of India that Honorable Parliament of India, they have given rights to a practicing chartered accountant. Yes, they have given rights. exclusively to practicing chartered accountants to examine the financial statements of the entity, of various entities, and express an opinion through a report. And this report that we make is relied upon by the government, is relied upon by the income tax department, is relied upon various stakeholders, right? And this service that we provide, this exclusive right that has been given to us, all right, this is nothing but audit, 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 all right. Auditing service is a part of assurance services. I repeat, auditing service is a part of assurance services. There are lots of other data also that we examine, we express an opinion, but the statutory right given to us by the parliament, which can be done exclusively by chartered accountants, is the audit of financial statements, expressing an opinion on that, and that report is relied upon by various stakeholders. Sir, we understood the meaning of the subject, right? And that is what we are going to discuss. But sir, madam, whoever is hearing over here, can I say that when we go for exams, only little bit of emotional explanation and a conceptual explanation is not going to do the job? We need to understand these things properly in ICAI module language. Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. Now, this is the introduction given by Pragnesh sir to you. Right? But when we go to the module, all right, they have explained that from where this audit was origin, or the origin of audit, from where it started, all right, that also they have explained in one paragraph. I don't want to ignore even that paragraph, all right, even in a fast track course. So I have read module thoroughly and we are going to cover it. Don't worry about it. All right. So now we are going to start with chapter 1. And this is my conceptual expression that I gave you, but now I'm going to go para by para, all right, as covered in the module, and slowly, steadily, we will start building up this particular lecture. All right, I hope you are with me. Yes, do not worry, these lectures are completely as per the new syllabus, which is applicable from May 24 onwards and completely updated. All right, I keep on taking various lectures, live batches, this and that, so my lectures are always updated. Don't worry about it. I've dedicated my whole life to audit subject. Okay. Now students, please take a fresh page. If you want, you can write down this particular introduction. You can pause the video, take a screenshot, but please write it. I would prefer that you should write it properly. Okay? If you are not writing, you will not feel the subject. Okay? Practical questions need to be solved and theory subjects need to be written properly. Okay. Now students, it is my request. Please give the title, Chapter 1, Nature, Objectives and Scope of Audit. Please give this title, Nature, Objectives and Scope of Audit, which is the basic introduction and basic concepts and all of that. Okay? Okay. Now what I've done is, in order to save time, few notes I've written so that the flow is very clear and you also understand the spacing and stuff. Then in between I've given this fill in the blanks, all right, which I will fill it up with you so that you don't feel bored. I don't like just going through the PPTs and just scrolling the PPTs and stuff. Student should believe that he will be able to write. So if the professor is writing in front of him, he will also believe that yes, he can do it. Right? That is why just those colorful drafted PDFs and stuff, I'm not a big fan of that. Okay. So everyone over here, I hope you have given the chapter 1 title. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Now write down point number 1, origin of audit. Now from where audit started. See, this word audit is derived from the Latin word audere. All right, from there it has been derived. That means to hear. Now what used to happen in old Latin age, all right, that the accountants and stuff, they used to write the accounts, right, during the kingdom style and stuff. Then there used to be separate professionals who used to get appointed and they will hear whatever accounts are being written by those accountants. All right, so that is why audere means to hear, and from there audit word was originated. Okay, we have MCQs, so we need to be careful for these kind of points also. It is a very proud moment as an Indian, all right, that there is an Indian reference also. When you look at Kautilya's Arthashastra, all right, in 4th century BC before Christ, all right, there also some concepts of auditing were applied. Yes. there was some misuse of power by various senior authorities, officers. They misused the power, they used the expenses, they cheated the treasury of the kingdom. All right, and there are evidences where actions have been taken based upon them after their examination. All right, so yes, very proud to say that there are Indian references also to this audit subject. And then coming to more recent history, more modern history, British. All right, in Britain, obviously the Industrial Revolution began very early. That is why the accounting, auditing part also started very early. But real, the auditing was seen when a British army was invading across the world and they were spending lots and lots of money. So they wanted someone to actually check the expenses of the military. But now, if you send a normal civilian to the military, then that army person will eat away the civilian. All right, because see, someone of civilian authority questioning the military will not like it, right? That is the reason that what British did is that within the military itself, they appointed an army general, but not to fight, but to conduct audit, that is, to examine the accounts and the expenses. And from there on, this word auditor general came into picture in 1860. Today, if you Google comptroller and auditor general, let me tell you, most of the countries, when they appoint a proper authority to examine the accounts of the government, all right, such person is called as comptroller and auditor general. In India, we also have comptroller and auditor general of India, who reports directly to the president and examines the accounts of central and state government. All right. Okay, but this originated from British. So these three references, L for Latin, I for India, and B for British. Bill or lib, whatever it is, please remember there are three such references. Yes? Yes. Okay. Now listen to me very carefully. Normally we have understood that auditing is an examination of financial statements. Till here you are clear? Yes. I hope you're comfortable with English. I told you it will be 100% English because mostly these videos are focused on South India students. Alright, now focus over here. So I understand that audit of financial statement is nothing but examination of financial statements and expressing an opinion. That much we have understood. So tell me everyone, in Reliance Industries Limited, if son of Mr. Mukesh Ambani, I hope I'm pronouncing him right, Anant Ambani, let us say he is a chartered accountant. Just assume, alright, he is not, but just assume. And let us say Anant Ambani is a practicing chartered accountant. Alright. So Mukesh Ambani said, wow, Anant, you are practicing chartered accountant. My boy is a practicing chartered accountant. So my boy, you can examine the financial statements of Reliance Industries Limited because you are a practicing chartered accountant. Tell me everyone, if Anant Ambani examines the financial statements of Reliance Industries Limited, are you going to trust it? No. If your own family members sign on your mark sheet, do you really think I will trust that? No. Right? So can I say that any Tom, Dick and Harry practicing chartered accountant cannot conduct examination of financial statements? The law is to ensure that the person conducting an examination of financial statements is uninfluenced. Alright. That means should not be related to the entity. All of this is discussed in Companies Act 2013. In fact, in your law paper, you have section 139 to section 148 where these things are discussed in Companies Act, that who can be appointed as an auditor. All right. But one thing is very, very clear, that auditing is not just an examination. It has to be an independent examination. That means needs to be done by someone who is uninfluenced. All right. And that is how we are starting the definition of audit. Everyone, please give the second point heading. Come on, pause this and write it. If you're not writing it, you will not feel like, learning the subject. Come on. All right. So definition of audit. Okay, write down please. Auditing is an independent examination. Which examination, beta? Independent examination. That means has to be done by a person who is not getting influenced, uninfluenced. All right. Independent examination of what? Of my face? Of your face? No. Of financial information of a ghost, no, financial information of an entity. Now listen to me, whether you're auditing Reliance Industries Limited or you're auditing Tirupati Balaji Trust, no matter whichever entity you're auditing, whether profit oriented or an NPO or a trust, whether it is a big company, small company, whether big trust, small trust, LLP, corporate society, irrespective, all right, of the nature of the entity, size, legal form and stuff, my main job is to examine the financial statements and express an opinion on the correctness of those financial statements. So everyone over here, that is why after entity we write it could be any entity whether profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form. But the main purpose is when such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon. Now, this looks like a definition. It's a very old movie, but I think you would have seen that Three Idiots. Yeah, 2009, not even that old. All right, but now it is 15 years or so. So, Three Idiots movie you would have seen. In that, there are two great characters. One is Rancho, second one is Chatur. So Rancho says that we just need to understand things, and Chatur says that, boss, we need to by heart it word by word. I say that there has to be a mixture of both if you want to clear chartered accountancy. See, that was engineering, it was easy. This is chartered accountancy. Joking, huh? No offense to engineers, but you need to have a mixture of both. All right, that means you need to understand things like Rancho, and when you're writing, it has to be like Chatur. All right, so come on, Rancho Chatur, Rancho Chatur, Rancho Chatur. Everyone over here. Auditing, Rancho meaning examination of financials and expressing an opinion. Rancho Chatur, Rancho Chatur. Auditing is an independent examination of financial information of an entity, whether profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form. When such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon. Come on, one more time, beta, one more time. Auditing is an independent examination of financial information of an entity, whether profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form. When such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon. Am I clear with this? Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. That is your definition of audit subject. All right. Now, where is this definition given? Is it given under some act? No, sir. Listen to me. In accounts, you have accounting standards. Similarly, in audit, you have auditing standards. They are named as standards on auditing. The book which contains standards auditing as issued by the ICAI technically is called as auditing pronouncements. There, this definition has been given. All right. So, if at all you want to write the source of definition is auditing pronouncements of the ICAI. Auditing pronouncements of the ICAI. Done? Okay. Now, Institute wants in the module that you should analyze this definition. That means there can be a separate 4 marks question that they can ask you on analysis of the definition, as you can see over here. Now, you have to just break it and just explain every single line. Auditing is an independent examination. Yes. It should be done by a person who remains uninfluenced. All right. So see, I have divided into 3 parts. You can also start with me. And such person should work with integrity. Integrity means beta honesty. Honesty. And objectivity. Objectivity means just being unbiased. Don't get partial. Alright. So you have to explain. No, this auditing is an independent examination. Alright. Nature of the entity. Write down. Entity can be profit oriented or not. It can be a company, LLP, proprietor, HUF, etc. Most of the entities in India, there is a mandatory requirement to get the financial statements audited. Not for all the entities, but for most of the entities, yes. Right? For most of the entities, there is a requirement to get financial statements audited. For most of the entity, there is a requirement to get financial statements audited. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Purpose of audit. I am telling you time and again, my purpose over here is to examine the financial statements and express an opinion. My purpose is to examine the financial statements and express an opinion. Listen to me very carefully. I need to explain 1 or 2 lines over here. Tell me, as a student, when you're writing answers, right, you are going to write answer. Who is going to check? Examiner. Similarly, if I'm auditing Reliance Industries Limited, who is going to prepare financial statements? The auditor of Reliance Industries Limited or the CFO? Obviously the CFO. Auditor is going to just check it. Alright. Now, listen to me. Coming back to student-examiner relationship. When examiner is checking the paper, he is not checking with an intention to find out who has copied in the answers. However, if he is checking and if he comes to know that there are two papers back to back where everything is same, the question number, answer and the comma and the full stop and the grammatical mistakes, everything is same, then there are enough hints to understand that something has gone wrong over here. So yes, examiner when he is checking the paper needs to maintain alertness, but he is not checking with an intention to detect fraud. Are you with me? Yes. However, if he finds it, if he finds something suspicious, then obviously he should investigate further. Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. Now listen to me very, very carefully, beta. Purpose of audit is to form and express an opinion. Write down. Auditor's main duty is to form and express an opinion. On the financial statements. Preparation and presentation of financial statements is the responsibility of the management, boss. Don't expect that from the auditor. It is the student who will write the paper, examiner will just check it. Preparation and presentation of financial statements is the responsibility of the management of the entity. Is the responsibility of the management of the entity. Yes? And I'll talk more about it. But please understand, auditor is not there like a James Bond to detect fraud or something. Alright? Please consider auditor as a normal professional examiner. Sir, but what if there is a fraud? Then who will be held responsible? I will talk about all of these things, giving you practical life examples. Don't worry about it. Okay? But as of now, beta, we are in the initial part. But if you are feeling interested in this subject that sir is going to discuss something very interesting, then that's where I have warned you. Alright? And I respect you for gaining that interest. Alright? That means you are a good pedigree to become a chartered accountant. Okay. I hope you have written this analysis of the definition. Yes, yes. I hope you have written the definition followed by analysis of the definition. Very good. Now students, as an auditor, when you are conducting audit of financial statements, what are you going to do? What is the main task that you are going to do? Just in simple words, obviously you will be worried about the entries in the books of accounts. Yes. Obviously, we'll be worried about whether those entries are properly supported with evidence or not. For example, if I have an admission ka entry, then obviously there has to be a fee receipt, right? There has to be something in the bank statement that okay, the amount has been received or deposited, whatever it is. Right? Then obviously, when I am presenting my financial statements, the information has to be very clear. The revenue which I have received from admissions, the great revenue which you have given me from the admissions, obviously it will be shown in revenue from operations. But that interest on FD and stuff will come under other income. Right? So that presentation has to be very clear. Na? Right? Then obviously when I am preparing the financial statements, I should comply with accounting standards. So my auditor will check whether I have complied with the accounting standards or not. Huh? How can we not comply with the accounting standards? At the end of the day, auditor has to form an opinion and give a report. In that report, he needs to write about sugar, diabetes, blood pressure. No. He needs to write about whether whatever is the balance sheet, P&L, the financial statements, whether it is correct, whether it has been presented fairly, whether it is showing true and fair view or not. Alright? Just a normal discussion that I did with you, beta. Don't worry, you don't have to buy at every single line, Ray. Don't worry. Right? I'll give you all the guidance. But we are very clear that broadly this is the task that auditor is going to do. So look at this. For those brief answers, 3 marks, 4 marks and stuff, you may get such kind of questions. While conducting audit, auditor should ensure that financial statements do not mislead anybody by performing following activities or tasks. Right? He should ensure that financial statements do not mislead anybody. But for that, what are the activities, tasks that he is going to perform? I have given you a code word. See, I'm going to give you some code words and stuff where it is required, where I feel that boss, if you have this code, you can perform better. All right. But let me tell you, you are never under an obligation to by heart all the points. All right. You can remember 2-3 points and ensure that at least 20-30% of your answer tallies with the suggested answer. With that, you can keep on scoring 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4 and stuff. And MCQs will help you to score 25, 28 out of 30. That is how you will score an exemption. There is a strategy to play a match, right? That is how there is a strategy to score marks also better. So please do not worry if you're not able to buy at every single point. Couple of points here and there properly, if you're able to buy at for every single concept, it's good. If you can remember more points, great. Alright. So everyone over here, I have a code word JAMCAT. So obviously you will see journal entries in the books of accounts. Alright. And compare it with financial statements, that whether the entries and the financial statements, whether they are tallying or not. Okay. Then obviously you will need audit evidence. Supporting the entries in the books of accounts. BOA's books of accounts, beta. Alright. Then obviously you will be worried about whether there is a manipulation in the financial statements. That's not my main job to detect, but at least I need to remain alert for that. Alright. Whether there is any omission or duplication. So when you write in such a manner question mark and stuff, what do you expect from students in exam? See, just that these are keywords. You can use little bit of proper English, whether there is an omission or duplication. Yeah, there should be no omission or duplication. Alright. So auditor needs to check this. So little bit words you can add on your own. Okay. C for there has to be complete clarity. In the information that is presented. That means it has to be completely free from confusion. Alright. Then A for accounting standards should be followed. In the preparation of financial statements, keep writing, only then you will gain confidence. Alright. Accounting standards should be followed in the preparation of financial statements. And T for the favorite word in audit subject. When we are expressing an opinion, if you download the audit reports of Reliance, Tata and stuff, which I will download in my lectures, and I will ensure that you understand those reports, alright, because there is a whole chapter on audit report. But you will keep on seeing this phrase which is used in the audit reports, whether financial statements are showing a true and fair view or not, whether financial statements are showing a true and fair view or not. Alright, you will keep on seeing that. So we need to comment upon true and fair view of the balance sheet and P&L. Alright. So we need to express an opinion on true and fair view of the balance sheet and P&L. Alright. True, figures are proper. Fair is about the presentation part. Okay. So come on, while conducting audit, auditor needs to ensure that the financial statements are not misleading anybody. For this, he is going to perform some tasks. If these are the last two lines of the question, then you're going to use the code word JAMCAT. Yes, sir. Now, I'm just practicing for some alternate profession in case you reject me. Okay. Joking. Done. Now, students, listen to me. Can I say that if you want to actually, in practical life, actually conduct audit, then you will need knowledge of various subjects here. You will need knowledge of accounts, you will need knowledge of law, you will need knowledge of economics, maths, stats, all of these various subjects knowledge you will need. Because if you have knowledge of accounts, only then you can conduct audit of financial statements, because we need to verify whether they are being prepared as per accounting principles or not. If you know this, you can easily answer the next point. Relationship of auditing with various other disciplines. All of us are in some kind of relationship. Even audit is in certain relationship, but with various subjects. Disciplines over here means various subjects. Alright. Now listen to me. Relationship of auditing with various other disciplines. Which disciplines? Just think about different subjects. Accounts, audit and accounts, audit and law, Maths and stats. Oh no, sir. Then economics. Oh, costing and FM. All right. And you're somewhere in your school, somewhere here and there, you would have studied IT subject, data processing. All right. But there is one more art that auditor needs. That is art of dealing with human behavior. Now, I have also applied this art. I know the human behavior. If I just give PDFs and stuff, students will never do the writing practice. Right? That is why I had to do this. That okay, this is regular course content. There is a separate notebook. I mean, you need to buy your notebook. You need to write things over there. Only if you write with me, you will gain confidence. Now, I am also trying my level best to use some kind of behavioral science. Behavioral science. Behavioral. Behavioral science. That is nothing but, I think only this subject you have not done. Art of dealing with human behavior. Okay. Now listen to me very carefully, beta. Only two lines. You have to just explain the relationship. They will just ask you any four, any three. They'll give you one mark. But you have to relate it with audit subject. Alright. For example, audit and accounts. So you need to conduct audit of financial statements. That is why you need knowledge of accounting principles. Alright. So like over here, auditor needs knowledge of accounting principles. Easy question. But if you're a little bit smart, you can score full marks over here, right? And you are smart, I know that. Then auditor needs knowledge of company law, taxation law, etc. to conduct audit. Maths and stats are, it is useful for valuation of assets, liabilities. Alright. Taking sample and verifying those transactions. Economics is business activity. If you have knowledge of economics, only then you will understand the whole business activity, the demand, supply and stuff. Costing will help for production. Finance will help for fund management. Alright. Production and fund management. And you know, nowadays there is a computerized accounting. I don't have space because I had planned not to give notes for this. Alright. I was just going to write the head points. So sorry for a little bit of compressed, congested notes. Alright. Okay. But it is always better handwritten notes. Yeah. Better handwriting would have been great, but now that is manufacturing defect. But I do ensure that I write a lot so that students are with me continuously. Alright. Okay. Done. Okay. I feel justified for the fees taken for you only if I keep writing stuff. Alright. Okay. Now, what we'll do is, we will just tally this. Alright. We will just tally this with whatever is given in the textbook. But I told you the difference between regular course and fast track course lies little bit over here, where Pragnesh sir covers all the concept of regular course properly in module language. Alright. But Pragnesh sir will not read every single line from the textbook. Okay. Because somewhere I have to cut down based upon number of hours. No. Alright. But it is my guarantee. Alright, that when you compare the notes and textbook, you will realize most of the things I've covered in the notes. Alright. The keywords and stuff. Okay. Now this introduction and origin of auditing. 3 references. Our main references are over here. Alright. And then they've just talked about ICA. ICA everyone knows, right? So that I have not given in the notes. Alright. Meaning and nature of auditing. Definition and analysis. Alright. So you can see the definition. Now you cannot cut even a single word. So full definition is over here, and analysis also properly I have given you. Right? So they would have written 1 or 2 lines more in the analysis, but main thing is to cover these 3 points in analysis, which I have covered. Right? I have broken down the definition. I have covered those points. That is how smartly we ensure that in less number of hours we are able to achieve our objective. Right? Then, while conducting audit of financial statements, auditor should ensure that financial statements do not mislead anybody by performing following activities and tasks. Which activities and tasks? You have your whole jam cat over here. Alright? Everything is over here. Relax, boss. Okay? If you compare, you will see that these same points are there. Just that if you want to read the full English, you can read it from there. So, my recommendation is that you can cover these points from the notes only. If there is any paragraph which I feel that you should read from the textbook, I'll tell you about it. Right? You should cover these points from the notes only. Only this analysis of the definition You can read once, beta, only once. Alright? Otherwise, you can write it from the notes, not a problem. Okay. Now, listen to me. What if there is a fraud in the financial statements? Huh? You just Google it out, Satyam computer scam, Enron scam from US and stuff. What if there is a fraud in the financial statements? Can you catch the collar of the auditor? Secondly, when auditor signs and expresses his opinion, is that opinion a guarantee that there is nothing wrong in these financial statements, or it is just a little bit of assurance but not a guarantee? Two very sensitive questions. Third, in practical life, what exactly is auditor supposed to do? Pragnesh sir is teaching theory over here, but practically, who will tell us what are we supposed to do? The contract that we sign with the client, all right, the law that is applicable, ICI standards, who is going to tell us what we are going to do? All right. And especially, what if we are conducting some voluntary audits and stuff, all right, where the audit requirement is not given by any law, but some proprietor or HUF just voluntarily wants to get the financial statements audited. There also, are we supposed to follow the standards auditing which are given by the ICAI? All right. All of these interesting discussions coming up in the next video. All right. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Yes, I've seen lots of web series and I know how to edit it. All right. Thank you so much.